Okay, I have started the recording. Please confirm if my screen is visible first. Are we good to proceed?
Visible, sir.
Okay then.
Visible, sir.
So yesterday we were discussing about what conditional statements in Java, right? So it is used to test a condition. Very simple. It is used to test a condition, and the expected result after testing the condition could be true or false. So usually, typically there are four conditional statements are categorized into four types. One is if statement, like next one is if else if ladder statement, and you have nested if statement. And we have understood clearly about what we have understood clearly about the if statement. Today let me I have already introduced about if else statement. Okay, and let us understand few more things on top of if else statement. Not few more things, I will just give the what we call it as a brief description about this, then we will move on to the next topic, right? So the Java if else statement is also going to test the condition. Java if else statement is also going to test the condition. Okay, if the condition is found to be true, then if block will get executed. If not, the else block will get executed. At any point of time, either the if block gets the chance to execution, or the else block will get a chance, right? So if the condition is found to be true, if block gets executed, and if not, the else block gets executed. Else block gets executed at any point of time. The if block or the else block. So only one block gets executed. Okay, what is the syntax for this? So we know the syntax. Syntax is very simple. You have if. Okay, under this if you place a condition. Inside this if you place a condition. If the condition is found to be true, okay, if the condition is true, this block gets executed. If the condition is false, you have the else block. Okay, and always remember this else block cannot go to, cannot stand all alone. If the condition is false, then the else block gets executed. Okay. This else block has to come along with the if block. So you cannot keep this else block separately. It cannot be a standalone statement. Okay, it should always be used along with if condition, right? This is what we are. Let us try to understand a simple example. If you understand this, just a kind of form up. Okay, so I am taking something like let me take two variables here. Integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20. I have taken two variables. I am saying what I will place the condition later. Okay, this is the if block. I am placing else block. Okay, and I want to place a system simple statement, system dot out dot println. Okay, I want to print what? I want to print something like 1 year, and inside the else block I am keeping a statement. I want to print 2 year. Here the condition that I am going to keep is a plus b equal to 30. Now tell me what will be the output in the console. Run this code. Come on. Let's see this extra data. What would be the output? Everyone, unmute and speak.
Nothing.
One, sir.
Output is 1. Okay, always try to think the condition. Okay, let me run this if it is 1 or not. Java C space a.java. Okay, unexpected type. We have discussed these things yesterday. You remember or not? Okay, because you are using the assignment operator, it is not doing the comparison. Yes or no? If you had to do the comparison, you should use the double equal to operator. Okay, syntactically it is wrong. Because syntactically you cannot place a statement or you cannot place an instruction Okay? That is not going to get evaluated to be either true or false. So this is not going to get evaluated. You are just doing what you are saying a plus b equal to 30. It is not an assignment operator. Okay, you are assigning 30 to 30 itself. It is something illogical. Something illogical. How to make it completely working? Okay, you should use double equal to operator. Okay, so this could be a tricky question for you in the interview. Okay, the single equal to means we assume that it is going to perform the equality. No, it is not. It is not going to do the comparison here. Okay, so if you have to do it, if you want to do the comparison, you should use double equal to operator. Now the answer will be valid. What? Making sense? Can I get yes from everyone? Can I get yes? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's try now focus here. Your attention is much important from now onwards. Okay. Very important to understand the topic that I am going to discuss now. You should keep much attention. So try to keep the constant focusing. We place this here. I'm going to introduce a new topic now. Okay, about the expressions. Let us. So just always remember, if anyone is asking you a question, what are the expressions that can be used in the if conditional block? Okay, what is the question? What are the expressions that could be used in the if conditional block? You cannot answer this because we are just looking into it. What are the expressions? Let me tell you the answer. There are two types of expressions. There are two types of expressions that can be used in the if conditional block. Can be used in the if conditional block. Okay, what are they? First one is the constant expression. Okay, and the second one is what? Second one is the variable expression. So what do you mean by constant expression and what do you mean by variable expression? What does it really mean? Let us understand about the constant expression. Constant expression. Okay. So to understand this constant expression, when I say, so if you want to understand what is a constant first, the value that cannot be changed, the value that is going to be fixed forever is called as a constant. Pi is a constant, right? The value of pi is a constant. So it cannot be changed because mathematically it is proven that value of pi is something like 3.14. Likewise, there are some constants like, for example, let us say that country India. The name itself is going to be constant because there are less chances that the name of the country is going to get changed. It's going to be constant, very constant. And also something like you can take your Aadhaar card number. Aadhaar card number is also going to be a constant because it is unique first of all. At the same time, it cannot be duplicated, and each and every person has a unique identity in the form of Aadhaar card. It is going to be constant forever. It cannot be changed with respect to the person. It cannot be changed. You may have many Aadhaar card numbers, but if you want to specify an Aadhaar card number with respect to a particular person, that is going to be fixed. Because Balaji is going to have an Aadhaar card number, Sudhir is going to have his own Aadhaar card number. That Aadhaar card number cannot be changed. That is a constant, right? And also sometimes things like this. There are for now there are 8 planets in the universe, constant. Previously it was 9. Now it has been confirmed that Pluto is not a planet. So only up to Neptune we have the planets. There are 8 planets in the universe, constants. 8 is a constant here, right? And also what else we can say? There are so many things that you can that are proven to be constant value if the value remains same forever, right? For example, any company like Wipro, the name of the company is going to be a constant. It cannot be changed, right? Likewise, even in Java, you can represent the constants in the form of what? Constant expression. I can say some expression as a constant expression, then it is going to hold a constant value. Example. Sir, can you give me some example? Okay, let me give you the first example. Let us say that I have a number something like example 1. So we are talking about the expression. Example 1. Focus here. Okay. This may look simple, but there is a lot of confusion here. Okay? There is a lot of confusion here. It will create a lot of, this topic is going to create a lot of confusion. This is very useful for to do what, to crack the certification examinations, to crack the online examinations with respect to Java. This could be the questions that you may expect in the interview rooms also. Okay, focus here. When I say 10 double equal to 10, what I am saying, I have placed an expression here. If I ask you what kind of expression is this, you should say that this is a constant expression. Why this is a constant expression? You are not taking help of any variable here. First of all, you are not taking help of any variable, and you are directly using the numbers, and this is one number and this is one number. So how can you say constant? This is just a number. According to Java says this is a constant, because if you do like this, if you say integer a equal to 100, and if you use the variable, okay, I can say this as a variable expression, because this a as a value, this is, after all, this a is a variable which is storing a value 100. Without using a variable, if you want to perform an expression, if you want to express something which without using a variable, okay, so that becomes what, that expression becomes what, constant expression. This is the constant expression. First understand what is constant expression, later we will understand the variable expression. Next one is, when I say, okay, I have another thing, okay, and if I am placing something like true here, so directly I am placing a value here. Don't you think so? I am placing true value here without taking help of another variable. I'm placing a value, direct value here. True is a value, direct to Boolean value. If I ask you what kind of expression this if condition is holding, you should say that this is a constant expression. Right? Likewise, this is example 1, this is example 2. Example 2. The third one could be something like this. Example 3. Okay. Integer a equal to 200, I am saying. Integer a equal to 200, right? And I want to do what? I want to say, okay, a double equal to 200. If I ever ask you what kind of expression this is, say this is not a constant expression. You should say this is not a constant expression. Why? Because, okay, we have an expression which is taking what, which is referring to a value from a variable. This a is a variable here. You are using the variable to refer to another value which is 200 itself. You are not using the 200 directly. If you use the 200 directly here, it becomes constant expression. Instead of 200, you are taking the variable name a, and this a is getting compared with the 200 value. This becomes variable expression. But I want to make it constant. I want to use the variable, and also I should ensure that this is a constant expression. Let me repeat. I want to use a variable, but I want to ensure that that variable is also a constant. How can I do that? Very simple. Just use the final keyword here. When you use the final keyword here, this final keyword, whatever the variable that you take, okay, then now you are taking a variable and there is a value. Okay, the moment you place final keyword before this declaration, the moment you take the final keyword, the moment you use the final keyword, okay, this will be treated as a constant only, because you are saying that the a is going to store 200 forever. You cannot make any changes. Sir, where is the proof that I cannot make any changes to my variable here? Right, let me give you an example. Focus here. Okay. See guys, if I say integer a equal to 10, okay, and when I say system, or always let me say integer a equal to 10, and again I am saying a equal to a plus 2, system dot out dot println. Now you please tell me what would be the value of a after this manipulation. Can you please tell me?
12, sir.
Answer is what? 12, right? This command prompt is taking a lot of time to execute this. This answer is 12 only. Just wait for this. It's compiled. Java says basic. Answer is 12. Okay. The moment I place the final value here, the moment I place the final keyword here, if I try to manipulate this variable a, okay, I am saying that I'm using the final variable to ensure that my variable a is going to hold the 10 value forever. What does it mean? You cannot perform any manipulations. Why you cannot perform any manipulations? You're using the final keyword, which means this is going to be what? Constant value. Even though you are using a variable to store that value, but still it is a what? Constant value. Constant value. Where is the proof, sir? Where is the proof that this is going to be a constant value? If you ask me, let me execute this once again. Java C space a.java. Taking a lot of time. Let me open the. Okay, so now we got an answer. Now we focus here. See, let me copy this. Okay, this is the compile time error that we are getting. What it says, cannot assign a value to final variable. So you have already said that the value of a is 10 and you are using the final keyword, which means the moment you use the final keyword, this value 10 has to be 10 forever. It cannot have any manipulations. When you have any constant, you will express that by using a variable, right? And you place the final keyword. Final means you are expressing a constant value, right? Can I say that by this, can I conclude that? Can I just conclude that by with the help of this example, I can say that this is also a constant expression. Yes or no? Do you agree with me? First two examples are okay. First two examples are completely fine. So we are just doing 10 equal to 10 and you are using the direct constant, but here you are using a variable, but still it is going to get treated as a constant expression because of this final keyword. Okay, now we have understood what is constant expression. Yes or no? Can I get yes from everyone? Please speak. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Now let us try to understand about the variable expression. Variable expression. Now focus here. There is a marginal difference between constant and variable. So by now you got to know what is a variable expression. When I say integer a equal to 100, if I try to use this variable to express a statement, for example, a double equal to 100. If I ask you what kind of expression this is, sir, you're not using a constant value. You're also taking help of a variable. So this must be a variable expression. Yes, you are right. This must be a what? Variable expression. Right? The second thing, the second example for variable expression, like you can take something like this. Okay, let me take it as example one, and let me take it as example 2. Example 2 is like if I have something like a boolean value, boolean b equal to false, okay? And if b double, let me use the b directly. B. If I ask you what kind of expression is this, you should say, sir, this is a variable expression, because you are using a variable. You're using a variable b, okay, which has a value false. So you are not using the directly false here. Instead of using false, you have assigned this value to an external variable and you are using that variable here as an expression. So this is also what the variable expression. Now I think you have understood about what is constant expression and what is variable expression. Now let us get into the actual topic. Okay, why we are understanding this? Okay, there is a logic behind this. Why we are understanding this? Now you should answer me. Okay, we have discussed this kind of a scenario earlier itself. Okay, try to recollect that concept and try to give the answer. Let's see who is going to give the right answer. Integer b system dot out dot println. Okay. So now can you tell me what would be the value that gets displayed in the console? Anyone?
0.
What about others?
Value not assigned to them.
Okay, we have discussed these things already. Let me compile this. Okay, Java C space a.java. I think I should reopen this. Okay, I will reopen this after having this compiled. Okay, let's wait for it. See, now focus here. Now you see. Okay, now I need your much attention. Okay, now we are getting an error. What, just read this error, what the error says, variable b might not have been initialized. Okay, let me go to the paint screen and explain you something about the DIA concept. I have explained this already to you. Okay? And again I'm repeating this because to understand the future topic, this understanding is required. Okay, serious, focus here. Okay, now I have a value 1 and the main thread gets access to the main method. So what is the first instruction? First instruction is the value 100 is going to get assigned to the variable a, right? This is very straightforward. First instruction 100. So you are okay, so I'm sorry about this. It is not about the execution, it is all about the compilation. Let me delete this. Let us compile this first. What is happening behind this? Let us compile this first. So how do we usually compile? We will save this source code by .java extension, isn't it? Okay, a.java. A dot a.java, right? And then compiler will come into the picture. Okay, you do what? You perform the compilation. This file will be transferred to the compiler, right? Compiler will do the actual compilation. And what is the job of the compiler? The job of the compiler is to check each and every line. Yes or no? Job of the compiler to check syntactical errors as well as the semantic errors. Okay, the compiler will check each and every line as follows. Okay, first it will check the syntax as class A. Okay, public static void main. Then it checks integer A equal to 100. Okay, completely fine. Then it sees integer B. As soon as it sees integer B, it has just identified what? It just identified what? Okay, the variable B has been declared. Okay, then eventually it will see whether there is an initialization or not, whether the value is assigned or not. Okay, it will see all the lines, but it has found that the value, no value has been assigned to the variable B, no value. Okay, and it will note that okay, the value declaration is done, but initialization is not done. Initialization is not done. Okay, this will be marked as correct. Declaration, it has been declared, but there is no initialization. There is no initialization. Okay, then what it will do? It will go to the next line. It is trying to see again once again. Okay, without even initializing it, you are trying to access the variable B. For trying to access the variable B, right? So accessing, we are doing the access without even initialization. Okay, the compiler will get confused here. Compiler will get, hey developer, what you are trying to do? You have declared the variable, okay, but you did not do the initialization, but you are trying to access the value. Is it a kind of good practice? Okay, that is what it's saying. It's saying that okay, now what it says, variable B might not have been initialized. There is a confusion created. That's why you have got this error in the compilation time. So the rule is okay, DIA. Always remember the rule is what? DIA for the local variables. Okay? When you are declaring a variable without a value, you have to initialize it either in the second line or the third line. Okay, let us understand this. In this case, I have performed the declaration. Okay, to avoid error, I can do what? I can initialize the value to the variable B in the next line. Okay, now D is completed. Now I is also completed. Then you are good enough to access this variable. DIA rule. If I run the same piece of code, you will not get any error. Okay, let me close this command prompt and open this one. Because it is reason is it is very slow. Let me save this code. Okay, now I have initialized a value. Let me remove this also. Now focus here, guys. So 100 has been assigned to the variable a. Okay, and I have just did a declaration for the variable b, integer b. In the next line, I am performing the initialization and I am trying to access it. So let me save this piece of code. Now if you see the answer, now there will be no issues with the compilation. Okay, now compilation will be successful. I need to execute this Java switch. So when you are declaring any variables inside the method, so you are declaring these variables locally. When you are using any variables inside a method, so this main is also a method, isn't it? So declaring a variable inside a method, you should also take care of initialization as well. If not, you will get this kind of errors. Okay, now let me ask you one more example. Now can you answer this second scenario? What would be the okay? Let me say. Okay, I am not taking any statements. And what would be the answer? Okay, try to compile this. Anyone? Scenario 2. Any idea? You can answer yes, or you can answer no, or you can answer don't know, whatever it is.
Error.
Error.
Okay, why we are getting error? Okay, now focus. You will get surprise if I try to execute this. Java C space a.java. There is no compilation error. The output is empty. Why it is empty? Now listen to this. Okay, now this code. Okay. Now this code. Previously, we have like created a confusion to the compiler. Okay, now it is not any kind of confusion. What you are doing? Okay, the compiler will check each and every line. It will check this line. Okay, it is completely fine. Okay, you have declared it, you have initialized it. You have performed declaration and you have performed initialization. Forget about accessing. So this line is completely full declaration initialization. When you see the next line, you are using the variable b. You have just declared it. There is no problem when you just do the declaration. The problem comes when you try to access it without initialization. Let me repeat. You can declare any variables: integer c, integer d, okay, integer e, okay, integer e. There will be no problem. The problem comes when you try to access it without performing the initialization. Okay, when you just do d, no issues. When you do d and without I, when you do a followed by a, when you declare and when you try to access without initialization, then there is a problem. Simply when you declare this, there will be no problem at all. If you want to access it like system.out.println, okay, and if you're trying to access e, now do you think that there will be a problem? Yes or no? Because you have declared it, but you have forgotten to initialize the value, but you are accessing it. I is missing here. I is very important here. Either do this, either declare and initialize and access, or else just keep it declared, no issues. We are talking about the things that with respect to compilation, guys. It is not going to help us out in the real-time application. These are the basic fundamentals. Now you answer me. Now you tell me, if I do integer b, integer c, integer d, now what will be the output in the console? Tell me. Hello.
Empty sender.
Output is going to be empty, right? Because this is the declaration, no issues. You can just keep it declared. You can just keep it declared. You can just keep it declared. The problem comes when you try to access it without the initialization. System.out.println. Okay, when you try to access d, you're trying to access d. Now compiler will check. Okay, there is a variable d. There is initialization. Without even initializing it, you are trying to access it. That is not the correct way of doing so. That's why compiler will get a confusion. It will throw the error. Making sense? So it should be like DIA. Let me run this code. Okay, you will get an error if I run this. Okay, so this should be empty. As per my explanation, this should be empty. It is empty. Right? Now answer me. Everyone focus here and answer me. System.out.println. Okay, I am trying to access b. Okay, b equal to. Now tell me what will be the answer in the console. Everyone think and tell me. Think logically and tell me.
Error, sir.
Error. Why error?
Because it is not initial.
Because we have to down.
Yes, correct. Why? Because You are doing the declaration. Then you are performing the accessing. Okay, you are misusing the order here, but you are not. You are initializing it after having the variable accessed. Right, the error will be thrown here only. Compiler will stop doing the compilation here only. Then it will throw the error. If I run this piece of code, you will get an error. See. Yes, see, variable b might not have been initialized. Why we have initialized it, but where did we initialize it? We did the initialization after this line. That is not. It is following DAI concept, not DIA. Remember this, okay? DIA or D is also okay. Right? Now you tell me. System dot out dot println. Okay. If I try to access now you tell me what will be in the console. What would be the think logical and tell me. Will the compiler be happy or not happy?
Error.
Error, definitely error. Sir, this line is okay. Declaration and initialization, no issues with the line. Sir, this line is also okay. You have just declared it. But what is this? What is the C? What is the address of this C? Is it a variable or is it an English word? What is this? Okay, if you give this code to the compiler, definitely compiler is not going to be much happy. He will be confused. What is the C? Variable C. Okay, you cannot access it directly without declaration. You are trying to access it. You miss the declaration, you miss the initialization. You are doing something which is out of the box here, isn't it? That's why it's not possible. Why we are discussing all this? There is a reason behind to discuss all this. Now, can I get yes from everyone? Have you understood what is DIA? Declaration.
Yes, sir.
Initialization accessing. This is fine, no? Well, let's jump into the next topic. Now think carefully and tell me. Okay, this is the actual topic. Everyone will make a lot of confusion, and this has been asked in one of the certification examination Java. The integer I equal to 100. Okay, think and answer. Integer j equal to, okay, if I double equal to 100. I am taking an if condition. Okay. Okay, and inside this if condition, I want to do something like j equal to 200. System dot out dot println. Okay. Now tell me what will be the value in the console. I want answers from everyone.
200.
What about others?
Errors.
What about others? Only 2 persons are there.
200.
200. Huh? Okay, let's run this code and see.
Errors.
Okay, why error?
Because it's block out of the block.
If statement.
Block out of the block. If block.
Okay. But do you think that it is following?
Statement is true, so
Okay. So don't you think that we are doing
Compiler stops at input.
somewhere someone is answering the right answer? Let me execute this. Okay. Let me execute this. Then I will trace the program. It says variable j might not have been initialized. So why we are getting this error? Look at this. It is saying clearly that there is an error in the line number 14. Okay, what is that error? Line number 14. It says, don't worry about the lines. Okay, just see the error. It's not seeing the variable j that is not initialized, but we have initialized it. What is actually happening? Let's focus it. Now I will be asking you some questions. Try to answer it. Let us put this in the main screen. Now don't you worry if you have answered this incorrectly. Okay, so this is a confusion oriented topic, so you need to understand the concept that I'm teaching now. Focus here. You don't pay attention here. This is our code. Okay. I can say this as a source code, isn't it? This is a source code. It has to be saved with the .java extension. So a.java I'm taking. Okay, before even proceeding with the compilation, now tell me, if I show you this if block, can you tell me what kind of expression is this? Constant expression or variable expression? Just answer that to me. This if block.
Variable expression.
This if block is representing what? The variable expression. Yes or no? Okay, I can say that the if block is representing the variable expression. Very clear, because you're using a variable here. Okay, and remember one thing. When you express it, when you make an if block to be a variable expression, the compiler will not recognize it. What I mean is, the compiler is very blind to it. Okay, let us highlight this block. This is a block. Okay, what you would do actually after writing the code, you would do the compilation, right? Compiler will come into the picture. Okay, this is the compiler. This compiler will take the .java file. Okay, and what happens? It will check for syntax errors. Okay, first line will be checked. Okay, this first line is very much perfect. It has declaration as well as initialization. Okay, it will see the second line, integer j. Then what it will check? What it will check is, it will try to see whether we have initialized the value j. Is there any value that has been initialized to the variable j? But it is very blind to this if block, because this if block is representing what? This if block is representing the variable expression. So when it is a variable expression, it is not the duty of the compiler to go inside that and to see what kind of instructions are there typically. This will be ignored. This if block will be ignored. It will not check what kind of expressions that you are facing. It will check the expressions. Ideally, it will check the expressions, but it is very much blind to see the initialization that we have done here. It's very much blind to see. This will be ignored by the compiler. Why it is going to ignore this? We don't know. That is how the Java is designed. It is going to ignore this. After ignoring this, it has found what? It has found j. If for the compiler will see the j variable like, okay, j has been declared, okay, and j is what? J is found to be accessed. Okay, for the compiler, from the compiler perspective, the j is not initialized. Okay, so since the compiler is blind to the variable expression, let me repeat, compiler is blind to the variable expression. It is going to throw error like what? It's going to throw error like the variable j is not even initialized. Variable j is what? Not even initialized. Okay, let us try to trick the compiler. And now you tell me, the moment I do j equal to 100. Now tell me what will be the answer in the console.
100, sir.
100 will be the answer. Everyone agree with Sudhir or Balaji? Who said? Everyone agree with that? 100? Yes, no? You will see a lot of examples. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. Do you agree with that? Okay, let me run this code. Java C space a.java. This is nothing. Okay, this is the bracket issues. Okay, the 2 opening parentheses, 3 opening parentheses, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have used an extra one. When you get this kind of error, just ensure that the brackets are balanced. Okay, if you have unbalanced bracket, or if you have the an additional extra bracket, you will get this error. Directly you can say that bracket issues. Java C space a dot Java. Okay, Java space. We are getting 100. So in this case, why we are getting 100? Let us see this code from the compiler perspective. Okay, how the compiler is going to see this code? Okay, very simple. Okay, first you tell me what kind of expression we are using. Can I say that we are using the variable expression? Okay, this is also variable expression here. Variable expression. Okay, the compiler will come into the picture. It will check each and every line. Okay, first line is what? Integer I equal to 100. Okay, this is very happy with the variable I. You have declared it and you have initialized it. No issues. It will move to the next line. So you are saying you have just done the declaration here. Okay, for the j has got what? J has got declared. Variable j has been declared. It will try to find if this variable j is initialized or not. But it will skip the if block. Why it will skip the if block? Because it is a variable expression. It will not see the variable j inside the if block, since it is a variable expression. The compiler will ignore the if block. Okay, and it will come here. Okay, after the if block, this is the very next statement. It says j equal to 100. Now compiler recognizes that the value of j is what? The value has been initialized to the variable j. Initialized. After this, what is happening? You are trying to access it, right? You're trying to access it. Okay, from the compiler perspective, okay, now for the compiler, it has been fulfilled. You have done what? DIA, declaration is done, initialization is done, and also you're trying to access. You're trying to access this. That's why you are not getting any error. If I make a small change here, okay, if I make a small change here, for example, let me change this to what? 100. 100 double equal to 100. Now you tell me what will be the answer. Anyone?
Error, sir.
Error? Focus. Okay.
200.
Correct. 200 is the correct answer. But we will focus. Okay. We will try to understand why we are not. It is not getting failed now. Why it is not getting failed now? We will understand that. Okay. Till now we have discussed about what? We have discussed about the variable expression. At the moment I changed the expression from variable to constant, okay, some magical things are happening. Okay, what is that magic, sir? If you see this code, and if you take this, first of all, identify this. Tell me, everyone, is it a constant or variable expression? What kind of expression is this? Everyone?
Constant.
The constant expression, right?
Constant.
Constant expression. We are able to identify the expression. Once you are able to identify expression, even the compiler will also do what? Compiler will also happy to identify this constant expression. Compiler will have the control on the constant expression. Okay, it will check each and every piece of code. Firstly, it will check class A. Okay, properly, syntactically good. Public static void main string array of syntactically good, and you have opening bar good. Integer I equal to 100. Okay, this I variable as what? This I variable has got the D, has got the I. Declaration, initialization, it will give the green signal. Declaration and initialization, no issues with the I. Okay, next instruction is what? Next instruction is something like you have J. Okay, now it will take the value J. It will try to check whether the it has been declared or not. It has been declared, but it has been initialized or not. Declaration is done. It will check for the initialization. Okay, now it will identify the if condition. It will see the expression. What kind of expression is this? Constant expression. When the expression is constant, now compiler is good enough to see the declaration statement inside this constant expression. It is not blind to the what? It is not blind to the initialization. It is not blind to the initialization that is done in the if block now. It will identify this. It will identify the initialization part now. Right? Previously, it was not going inside. You may think like it is going inside, but it will not identify whether you are declared it or not declared it. Okay, compiler will identify the whether you have initialized it or not initialized it. Compiler will identify if you have a constant expression. Will try to find the initialization has happened or not. This time it will be very clear. Initialization has happened or not. We'll check. Okay, initialization has happened. J is holding a value 200. Okay, the developer has done what? Done the initialization also. So declaration is done, initialization is done. Okay, at last what is happening? We're printing the value J in the console, accessing the value. So what will be the value in the console? Okay, so compiler will not throw any error. After performing the compilation, then the JVM will come into the picture. Okay, Java virtual machine will come into the picture. Okay, Java virtual machine will perform each and every line, and you get the value J in the console. So we are talking with respect to the compiler. So we are getting the compile time errors. Why we are getting the compiler time errors? Because of this constant expression and the variable expression. Understood so far? Are we good till now? Yes, no? Everyone? There are a lot of things that we need to discuss. Okay, this is not something that I can stop here. This thing is going to be what? I'm going to increase the complexity actually. Okay, now if you can you tell me what would be the answer? Think and tell me. J equal to 300. Okay. Println. Okay, I am placing J here. Okay, I am doing what? Here. Now think and tell me what would be the answer now.
Error.
What about others?
will be into 200 and 300.
Good. Okay, 200, 300. Why 200, 300? Very simple. Very simple. Okay. If you have pen and paper, if you are tracing this with pen and paper, this will be clarified. Okay, we are talking with respect to the compiler. Okay, not with respect to the JVM. We are talking with respect to the compiler. Okay, compiler, the job of the compiler. Okay, this is the last thing because I cannot continue this further. Just pay some attention because tomorrow I am going to increase the complexity. Okay, so these things needs to be understood to understand the tomorrow's concept. The compiler, okay, the code is going to get stored with what? A.java. Okay, and you need to do what? You need to do the compilation. So compiler will expect the source code which is A.java. Right, so the moment you give the source code, it starts checking each and every line. Okay, every line will be checked. Okay, integer I equal to 100. This is completely fine. No issues with this line. Okay, there is an issue with the j. There may be an issue with the j. We are not sure. Okay, it says okay, variable j has just been declared. J has just been declared. I can keep it like let me do what the compiler will say. Okay, declaration is done. Now you tell me what kind of expression is this? This is a variable expression, right? Variable expression. When it is a variable expression, okay, no matter if you initialize it or if you did not initialize it, no matter. It is very blind to see these instructions, see the initialization. It is very blind to that. It will skip this part. Even though if you have initialized it, it will skip this part. Why it will skip this part? That we don't know. We don't know. These are the Java internal things. We don't know. It will skip this. Okay, then it will try to find okay the j is initialized or not. It has found somewhere outside the if block it has been initialized. Okay, now it will mark that okay the initialization part is done by the developer. Okay, after this, what you are trying to do? After this, you are trying to access it. No matter what value you will get, that is different. From the compiler perspective, are you going to get error or not? That is the question. So compiler is going to give the green signal. Compiler will give this green signal. There will be no errors. Syntax it is correct. You are good to go for the execution. Now what happens after the compilation? Okay, let me delete this. Now JVM will come into the picture, right? You have compiled it, but who will execute this? We need to execute it, isn't it? For the execution, what is the command? Okay, after the successful compilation, it will generate what? A.class file, right? And you need to execute it by giving a command at Java space here. The moment you give Java space here, A.class file will be loaded inside the JVM memory. Okay, this is the JVM. Right? A main thread gets created and main thread gets access to the main method. Okay. Let us say that this is the console. Let's say that this is the console. Okay. This is this thread is going to get access to what? It is going to get access to the main method. From here it will get access to the main method. Integer I equal to 100. Good. Okay. Value 100 will be assigned to the variable I. 100, the value that get assigned to the variable I. Now focus. Okay. So this is how you need to do the tracing during the as a beginner. Okay. Now integer j. So since you have just declared it, somewhere in the memory the j would be declared. Okay. And what else is happening here? Okay. If I double equal to 100. So this is the j main thread case. It is not a compiler. This is a main thread. Main thread has to execute all the instruction no matter what. It's not like a compiler can skip the block and all. It is not like that. It's the main thread that has to execute all the instruction. It is going to execute this. It is going to look at the statement. If I double equal to 100, it is going to return what? True, isn't it? It is going to be what? True. Right? And what is the next statement? So true means getting permission to get inside the if block. Right? J equal to 200. Okay, now you are actually initializing the value of j, which is what? 200. 200 has been initially assigned. 200 value 200 is assigned to variable j. After this, you are printing what? You are getting access to the variable j in the form of system.out.println statement. So j has to be printed in the console. Accessing j. So what is the value inside the j? You are accessing j. What is the value inside the j? 200 is a value. The 200 will be printed in the console. Okay, next thing what you are doing. Again you are saying, okay, I do not want 200. I want to initialize 300 to j. This time 300 will be, instead of 200, 200 will be overridden and it will be have a new value called 300. And what else you are doing next? You are printing system.out.println the value of j itself again. What is the latest value of j now? Latest value of j has become what? 300, isn't it? So the output is going to be what? 200, 300. Okay. What are the things that you can see? These are the things that you can see. These things that will be displayed in the console you can see. But what are the things that you don't see? You don't see the thing that is happening behind the scenes. If you don't see, it is not like you cannot remember this. If you don't see also, you should be in a position to analyze this and you should keep it in the mind, keep it in the memory or somewhere. Because this is the logical entity that is happening behind the scenes. These are logical things that is happening behind the scenes. Memory perspective. This is the console perspective. If you don't print also, it is not like you cannot remember the values that are getting assigned. Making sense? So there are two things here. You should understand about the compiler perspective. When it comes to the compiler perspective, there you should focus on the variable expression and the constant expression. This is not respect to the JVM perspective. You are getting the compile time errors because of the DIA. DIA is going to ensure that you are getting the compile time error when you make a mistake. Compiler is blind to see what? It is blind to see the variable expression. It's good to see what? Constant expression. Okay, trust me, these are the interview questions that you can expect for the freshers also. Are we good so now? Till now, everyone? Don't make up any confusion here, okay? The moment you do practice, you will get this. I'm not going to stop it, okay? We are going to see a lot of expressions in the tomorrow's class. To understand that, you should understand this better. This is the basic, this is just the beginning. Okay, if else is not like just if else and I can show you some problems that is done. No, that is not the case. So you should understand this kind of fundamentals. Okay. Do you